I'm a journalist. I'm accredited. I'm accredited as a journalist.
Where is your accreditation?
It's in my car.
Where is it?
I can show you.
Yes.
In my car.
Senior journalist Blessed Mhlanga has been acquitted after months of battling for freedom following his arrest on May 7 on charges of taking pictures within a polling station as the main charge, or alternatively disorderly conduct. Chitungwiza Magistrate Ishanesu Matowa delivered judgment today. In his judgment, Matowa said the 3 state witnesses gave varying accounts of the same event, making it difficult for the court to make a decision to convict Mhlanga. He also ruled that the incident had not happened in the immediate vicinity of a polling station, and therefore the court did not have to take into account the defense put up by Mhlanga. On the charge of taking pictures without permission, the magistrate had already acquitted Mhlanga together with Chingeto Chidi at the close of the state case. Defense lawyer Tapiwana Muchineripi from the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights said his client had been acquitted on the basis of the state failing to produce sufficient evidence.
I just want to confirm that the court has just delivered its judgment, wherein my client has been found not guilty and has been acquitted on the basis that the state failed to come up with sufficient evidence to prove the offense of disorderly conduct within a polling station or the vicinity of a polling station. Basically, we are elated that justice has been done.
Mhlanga, after his acquittal, said although he was relieved by the judgment, he was unhappy.
I don't want to talk about the delays, but I just want to thank my legal counsel, Mr. Mchineripi from the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, Jeremiah Bamu, who's coming from Misa Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, he could not be here today because he's also attending to another matter of Cecilia Chimbiri and Joanna Mamombe at the Rotondo Magistrates Court. But I want to say that in as much as I've been acquitted and found not guilty, I'm very sad. There's nothing for me to be happy about, basically because I should never have been here before in the first instance. The court made a critical finding. The first finding is that there is no offense whatsoever for a journalist to take pictures outside the polling station, even without the authority of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. That was a critical finding that the court made. The second critical finding that the court made was that, I mean, you can't accuse someone of having behaved in a disorderly conduct in the vicinity of a polling station, yet you, as a witness, you come and say they were about 60 meters away from a polling station and no one could actually even see that polling station. It's said that the police, after beating me up and breaking my phone, found it, plausible in their own act to arrest me, instead of the police arresting those who were violent and who did a malicious damage to my property. As an accredited journalist, I'm accredited by the Zimbabwe Media Commission. I produced my accreditation of the Zimbabwe Media Commission, and I was still arrested for gathering news on behalf of Zimbabweans, for Zimbabweans, to tell the Zimbabwean story. It is said that we have men in uniform who have sworn to the Constitution to be officers of peace in this country, to keep us safe, who find it important to hide behind their uniform so that they violate people's rights because they wear the badge of the Zimbabwe Republic Police, which they are supposed to do so in pride. But I just want to be thankful for the support that I got from Mr. Zimbabwe, thankful for the support that I got from the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, thankful for the support that I got from my bosses, Trevor Ngwe and Wisdom Dzungairi, because without which that support, and from my wife, without which that support, things would have been very difficult for me. I feel, Comrade Mchineri, for those who can't afford legal counsel, for those who don't have that support, who are victims of police brutality, and then they are arrested, and then they are accused, and then they are brought to the courts, and yet those who are in uniform, who are actually the criminals, are the ones who will be coming to give false evidence in court. I'm grateful that the Lord has been with us, and I'm grateful. I don't think justice has been saved. Justice has not been saved because a lot of my time has been stolen. A lot of the time that I've been supposed to be doing work has been stolen. Chengeto Chidi, a young girl, was shaken, detained and kept in cells for 2 nights and had to be freed by the assistance of our lawyers. I think it's sad. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for journalism. It's a sad day in this country for the Second Republic, the dispensation that President Emmerson Mnangagwa talks about. It's sad if they do not do something to stop this harassment of journalists by the police, this unwarranted harassment. Let us do our job. Journalism is not a crime. Allow us to tell the story unmolested and unhindered. But I want to thank you. Thank you very much for all the work that you have put through.
Jeremiah Bamu, who was also Mhlanga's lawyer, said he was saddened by the fact that the ruling was a matter of delayed justice, as it was clear from the onset that no crime was committed.
Obviously, we are happy that he has now been acquitted, but in a way it saddens us that this is a matter of delayed justice. There was no reason at all why he should have been arrested in the first place, and there was no reason to go through the motions of a trial when it was clear from the onset that no offense had been committed. The provisions of the law, juxtaposed to the facts that were presented before the court, were so clear that no reason existed to even start a trial in the first place.
He also said that the problem the justice system is facing is that of collision between National Prosecuting Authority and the police, which is dominating the NPA, which should be an independent board.
This is one clear case where, in my opinion, there was no need at all to waste any resources on this matter because the facts spoke for themselves. The misfortune is that there is collusion between the Office of the National Prosecuting Authority and the police. In a way, the police are dominating the National Prosecuting Authority that must be independent within the framework of the Constitution. Whenever a matter is brought to the NPA is failing to exercise discretion to reject some of these cases. So, as an example, when we got into court the very first time, the charge against him was that he had taken pictures within a polling station, and yet all witnesses were clear that they never entered into a polling station. So there was no need to even get into court in the first place.
Bamu mentioned that they are still pursuing the charges against Officer Matsika, who beat up Mhlanga and broke his phone, but happens to be under police protection.
We are still pursuing the charges that we laid against Superintendent Matsika. Unfortunately, there is police protectionism because Superintendent Matsika is within the police force. So we basically asked the police to investigate itself. And it has proven itself that it is not willing and it is very reluctant to investigate one of their own. They have not arrested him, they have not asked for his statement on the charges, they have not brought him to court. It appears to us that they are not willing to have him stand and face justice. But nonetheless, we will push through the NPA. If they refuse, we will institute private prosecution against him. From what we are experiencing so far, there is little hope, but we will still try. We will never know. Perhaps somewhere, somehow, justice may actually take place. We cannot give up because the system is bent on repressing and oppressing its people. We will still fight for justice, regardless of the circumstances where the fight takes place from.
In another matter, Legislator Joanna Mamombe and Triple C youth leader Cecilia Chimbiri were in court, where they made 2 applications to stay the proceedings of their trial while reviewing the judgment by Magistrate Faith Mushure. Facing allegations of faking their own abduction, the duo have since challenged the decision by Mushure to have them placed on their defense. Mushure dismissed both applications despite the fact that the defense lawyer Jeremiah Bamu had earlier filed on application at High Court to have Mushure's ruling reviewed. Technically, the application was awarded after Mushure adjourned court owing to time before he remanded the matter to 26 September 2022 for trial continuation.
Today we were supposed to continue with the defense case. That is to say, Joanna Mamombe and Cecilia Chimbiri were supposed to testify in their own case. But we were not happy with the decision by the magistrate to put them to their defense. And as a result, we approached the High Court, alleging that the magistrate had misdirected herself in a number of reasons, mainly because there was no evidence against them and that the other reasons that we gave. So, because we had approached the High Court, we then asked it that the matter be postponed to allow us to pursue the matter at the High Court. The magistrate dismissed those applications, but because of time constraints, the matter was still postponed. So, as matters stand, the matter stands postponed to 26 September 2022 for continuation.
There were skirmishes outside Rotten Row Magistrate Court as police disrupted a photo shoot session of the duo with Tendai Biti and other CCC members who had come in solidarity with the accused persons. These agitated the accused persons, who started singing protest songs. Harare Magistrate Court had heavy police presence, courtesy of CCC members present at court today. Their struggle for freedom continues in court on the 26th of September, when their trial is expected to continue. Rimbo Nikadzino, HSTV News and Current Affairs.